Hey guys, so I'm talking about the new edition series movie, whatever it is, part one. I'm going after I do this review, then I'll watch part two. But I did watch part one. I think it was an amazing cast and the storyline. I mean, it was really good. It kept me focused on what I was watching instead of saying, okay, let me go to the bathroom. No, this movie was really good. So shout out to BT. My hair is really irritating. Shout out to BT for doing an excellent job with this movie because I have heard nothing but good things about it. Now there was some right now just be like, okay. But overall, they did way better than the other networks that was trying to do biopic movies. So they did good. They did really good on the casting. The kids were amazing kids. They did really good. They didn't try to really overshadow each other. They played their part. You could tell who was who when it came to the kids and stuff like that. Let me see. But like I said, they had really good actors and actresses in this movie, some well-known people, so that was cool. Let me go with the kids first. I might butcher their names, so bear with me. Bobby was played by Tyler Marcel Williams. Ralph was played by Jai Winston. I think that's how, or Jai Winston. Ricky was played by Caleb. I didn't remember his last name. But he was a good actor. Michael Bivens was played by Dante Hoagland. Ronnie was played by Miles Truitt. So that was really cool. Their parents, Ricky mom was played by Lala Anthony. Breezy, who played on Empire, was Ricky's sister. So I did remember her. That's one person I was like, oh, I'm going to write her down because I remember seeing her. And I was like, okay, they got all the little Empire people. Yvette Nicole Brown played Michael Bivens' mom. Monica Calhoun, that used to play on Players Club, she played, who mama was she? I want to say, she was Michael Bivens' mom. Matter of fact, she was Michael Bivens' mom. And Shirley was somebody else's mom. Regardless, they were both in the damn movie. Lisa Nicole Carson played Ricky's mom. So yeah. So the other two just was the kids. The opening of it was, hold on. Wood Harrison played Brooke, their manager. And Melvin Jackson played Curtis Blow. Michael Ramport played Gary, the new manager, after they got rid of Brooke. Or whatever. Who else? Dejanay Jackson played young Xena. I just want to remember these characters' names because I felt like, you know what I'm saying, we want to give them recognition and shine of the good work that they have done. Faison Love played Maurice Starr. I was like, hey, Big Worm, hey. But yeah, so let's get on. It started off with the group getting into it on stage because first Bobby Brown was on stage and he was taking too long. BBD got mad. They went and took over the stage. Bobby got mad. He was finna wet them up, but then he decided to run up on them on the stage, and I'm like, y'all lucky internet wasn't popping the way it is now because I didn't know nothing about this. I knew they was like getting into it, or you know what I'm saying, sometimes they wouldn't be getting along, but to that extent of you guys getting on stage to fight, that was a problem. Anyway, so they was like, okay, let us take you back from where it first began. So then they took it back to the year I was born. Excuse my nails, I'm getting them done. In 1978. So you see Ricky walking through the house looking for his mama. And I said, oh, this is so old school. Because when he get to his mama, she was like, you got my cigarettes or whatever. She was like, she was mad because he got the wrong pack. I said, but you could tell this some old school stuff because I remember going to get cigarettes from my grandmama with a note when I was little too. Can't do that shit now, but I sure remember going. So I was like, damn, that was happening everywhere where you can go get your parents cigarettes from the store when you was little. Okay. So he asked his mama, can he go and hang out with Mike? And she was like, Michael Bivens, and he said, yeah. And she was like, hell no. That boy's a bad influence. No. So he goes in his room and he sneaks out. I said, who's bad? Michael Bivins or your son. I'm just saying. So that's when we get introduced to Michael Bivins. He's on the basketball court. He's loving basketball still to this day. He loves him some basketball. So they end up going to a talent show. And then that's when we're introduced to Bobby. Bobby was an 11-year-old boy that was interested in being in a talent show. He gets on stage. He gets stage fright. I'm like, ooh, Bobby stage fright? Ooh, you can't tell now. But he runs off the stage, and then the next day when his homeboys, when Ralph, Ricky, and oh damn all these people. When Ricky and Mike had went up to Bobby and asked him how was the show, he like lied and was like, "Oh, it was good. I did my thing." They was like, "You lying? We was there." So that was funny. Then they was talking about forming a group because he was like, "Next time I get up there, y'all gonna get up there with me. We're gonna be a group." And then they was talking about forming this group, and he was like, "I know somebody that could be a part of the group." So they kept on saying Corey and somebody, and they was like, "No, what about Ralph?" And they was like, "He always kicking all the time." So then we get introduced to Ralph. Ralph is at school, home somewhere, on the porch, kicking like the Karate Kid. And so they go over there, and he's trying to impress the little girl named Zena. He's trying to impress her with his karate moves. So Ricky was like, why don't you go over there and talk to her? And he was like acting all shy. So Ricky was like, okay, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to talk to her for you. Ricky goes over there and straight throws salt. He say his friend like her or whatever, but then he starts singing to her. I said, you was a little scandalous little something. So the other little boys like, I know you're not going to let him do that. So they end up going to have a battle off of singing to Zena. And I'm sitting there in her mind, she was like, I really can't date neither one of y'all because I'm too young. My parents is going to whoop me. But this is cute. Okay. So that was that with them. That was cute. So then the boys is practicing at Ricky's house. And they, getting their little dance stuff down pat. And I think it was his brother was kind of hating on them. So Peanut, Breezy character, she was saying how if they really, really serious, they need to go get them a manager. So they was like, okay, cool. So they end up they told them about this guy named Brooke and how he's the manager of everybody or whatever and make big stars. So they went to him and auditioned for him outside of wherever he was coming out of. First he told them he don't work with kids, but when they got in front of his car, he saw that they had talent. So he told them to meet me tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at the community center and don't be late. So I said, cool. But the whole time I'm telling y'all, watching this show, I kept saying, where's the parents? This is why kids get dogged out by people like this. Because why are the parents not so involved? Especially if you believe your kids have talent like that. You wouldn't just be allowing them to go do little certain things without you. And it seemed like it took all the way up until them signing a deal for the parents to be involved. And I was like, y'all should have, I ain't seen y'all had no meeting with this man when he first told them to meet y'all kids at 9 o'clock in the morning. Them kids could have met him and he could have kidnapped them kids. Like, come on. But he ended up telling them the rules of him being their manager or whatever, and how they have to work hard and no outshining nobody in the group and all that kind of stuff. So then they practicing, and then he tells them their name. And he tells them why he chose the name of New Edition, because they already have Michael Jackson, they had the Untouchables. So now they're the next big thing. So what better way to introduce them as the New Edition? That was really cool. So then he tells them that they have to do this talent show. So they did this other talent show. They did a couple of more shows after that. So I thought that was cool because he was really getting them booked. So then he tells them that about a talent show that has Maurice Star talent show, a Hollywood talent show. And the winners will win a demo recording in the studio and they get to make a song and all this kind of stuff. The voice was like, will we make money? But then when he said no, it was the demo, they wasn't tripping because all they worried about is girls. I said, boys. That's all they worry about. Because I got a 16-year-old myself, and that's all they worry about is the girls. That's it. So, they end up doing that show. They end up doing that talent show. Homeboy that played on ATL, I think that was him, when he was pop locking. I said, oh, my God. So, they came out. They did their thing, right? Then they lost. They lost to some group called the Boston Rappers, but the crowd was going so crazy for them, Maurice Starr had to give them a record deal just as well. So they go to Star Recording Studios with Maurice Starr. He tells them that they need another member of the group. So Michael Bivins was like, why fix something that's not broken? He was like, if you don't shut your big ass mouth and open your big ass ears and just listen. I said, oh, see, this is why we need parents. I'm just saying. Because you ain't going to be talking to my minor ass child like that the first time you in the booth with him. Like, no. I just wasn't liking the way things were handled with no parents. So the Brooke tells them, oh, well, I have my nephew. So that's when we get introduced to Ronnie. And when we got introduced to Ronnie, I was like, is this a setup? Like, you was already preparing him to be in this group. Like, Ronnie say, oh, well, I have to earn my way in the group. But I'm like, it looked like your uncle was well grooming you for auditions for this group. And you did not even audition. You just came in. You didn't earn your spot on the group because you came in and you just started practicing with them. So it wasn't like no audition to see if you had no chemistry with them. You just jumped straight in on the group. So anyway, they rehearsed together the next day or whatever. And then we go back to the studio. As soon as we get in the studio, Ricky and Bobby start fighting. So Maurice Starr was like, okay, let them keep on doing. Ralph, you ready? Get in the booth. Ralph gets in the booth and he sings all of the song to Candy Girl. And so the boys then started looking like, I want to sing too. But I was like, if y'all went up in there being bad, act like y'all ain't got no home training, then y'all would be over there being the lead. But since he was over there being ready, he didn't have to get ready. So after the studio session, Maurice Starr ended up going to Ralph's house, like, your parents home? But we never seen him talk to the parents. I was like, am I missing some shit? What the hell? So he's telling him about how he's bigger than the group. He's a star, yada, yada, yada. He like, what about my friends? And he like, well, where you going? Your friends can't go. And y'all, he just down talking his friends. And he was telling him, just think about it, call me. He was like, but we ain't got no phone. So then we get a scene where him and his sister is putting up a Christmas tree. And his mom comes out and she just cries because that's not what you want your kids to do. You don't want your kids to save up their money because you can't afford a Christmas tree and gifts for them and stuff like that. So she felt bad. So when he saw his mama feeling bad, he went to the phone booth and called Maurice Starr Collect and was like, okay, you told me to call you when I have a decision, but you have to take the whole group, not just me. So Maurice Starr was just like, okay, I'll take the group. I said, damn, it was that easy, like when you was just trying to talk him out of it. But okay. So they end up going to sign a contract with Maurice Starr, right? I was so irritated with this part because they start talking about money, and he was like, oh, well, we're going to do a $500 sign-in bonus. And then everybody just start hurrying up and signing these contracts. And I'm like, really, mamas? Really? This is why we have to teach our women, even when we come from nothing. Don't just sign on things. I never seen not one mama grab a contract and say, well, let me read over it. Let me take it to a lawyer or something. They just signed on for $500. And I'm like, what if you just signed that and that would be the only $500 you got because you decided to not read it? Now you done fucked up your kid's career and all that kind of stuff because for $500? That was just crazy to me. Michael Bivins wasn't sure if he wanted to do it because he loves basketball. So his mama had to, let him know, like, it's okay. You should be part of this group and all that kind of stuff. Just talked him into signing a contract. So that's what he did. So they ride motorbikes all through the projects or whatever from their little $500. I said, well, nigga, what kind of motorbikes are these? Because I remember being young and my grandmama bought my auntie a Honda Elite and it was way more than some damn $500. But okay. So they ride through, and then in 1983, that's when Candy Girl was aired on the radio. I'm telling you, I got my life with these songs. Oh my God, it took me so much back to childhood on these songs because New Edition was played in everybody in my family home. And it was crazy because me and my sister was like new Kids on the Block fans. So my auntie would really be mad at us when it comes to New Edition. We used to always battle. That shit used to be so fun. But I am a New Edition fan through and through. Through and through to this day. I would go to a New Edition BBD, not a Bobby Brown, concert. I'm just saying. I wouldn't even go to a Johnny Gill by himself concert. It would have to be the whole group or BBD. I'm just saying. So anyway, they end up having a photo shoot for Candy Girl, and that's when they asked who was the lead singer, and they said Ralph. So all the group was feeling some kind of way about them saying Ralph. They put him like really, really close to the girl. It was him and Michael Bivins by the girl, and the other people of the group was on the outskirts. They was kind of really irritated, and that's how we got the picture of Candy Girl. So then we had a concert at Roseland, and it had New Edition, Curtis Blow, played by Melvin Jackson, and Madonna. We never saw like Madonna. If we did, I missed that part. But Curtis Blow was having a problem with opening for New Edition because they were kids and he was already known in the industry, so he didn't feel like he should have to open for them. But the promoter was like, you know how big these kids are, and yada yada yada. And I'm like, that's still wrong because we only heard of them singing one song. So how is somebody else opening for some kids that only have one song? Because we had never heard them sing anything else. So that was kind of bad writing to me. Like, you wouldn't have, I don't care if these kids was all these fans and all that kind of stuff, they only have one song. People that usually open might have one or two songs, but not the middle person, like, or the end person. So that's weird. But they perform or whatever. Mike trying to get out his number through the damn performance. I was like, little boy, if you don't sit your... That's why you need parents. Because parents probably would have went on that. If you don't back up and start dancing. That's what I'm saying. Like, these mamas should have been more and more involved. So Brooke is on his way home in the house or whatever. And Mike and Ricky's mom confronts him about money. You know what I'm saying? He like, well, go talk to the booking agent about that. I'm just a manager. She was like, yeah, you're the manager, so you should be knowing what's going on. So that's when we find out, like, they still in the projects. They still on food stamps. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? But this is where I blame the parents for signing them contracts without reading. So when they said they were going to go and look elsewhere and find somebody else, he was like, wait. Hold on, be patient. They got tours coming up, yada, yada, yada. And I assume they're going to give y'all some money. I said right there, he already told y'all wasn't getting shit when he said he assumed. So they go on all these tours. They start off like in Miami, St. Louis, Ohio. They just doing a damn thing. And they singing a new song and all of that. Then after the concert, because that's when we start seeing them get older as like Brashear and all that kind of stuff. So that's when they get from the concert, they pull up back in the projects. I said, y'all didn't get no little apartment? Like, really? That was fucked up. So then they give them a check for $1.87 to split. And I said, wait. First, when I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so it said $187, right? But it said $1.87. I said, see, you know what? This is where they have the dreadheads in the lobby. Because my cousin Swiddle, NWA, that motherfucking studio. You, record label, whatever. They did them kids dog wrong. But he was talking about recoupable expenses to the label, yada, yada, yada. So they was like, you know what, we ain't got time for this. We just gonna go find somebody else. You know, Lala was mad because that's her brother, but this when it comes to my kids' money, it's either your brother get fired or get fucked up. You choose. I'm just saying. So, yeah, they end up firing him or whatever, and then we get introduced to the new manager, Gary, that's played by Michael Rampart. And he was just telling him how he wants to make them money. He can do what all he can do for them and yada, yada, yada. So he ended up taking them to a meeting with Gerald Busby with Universal. And that was played by Tank. So, and then he had an A&R who was played, named Lou, was played by Dwayne Martin. And they end up, he was telling, because they was all rowdy little kids when they walked in the office, and he was like, no, y'all gonna go in there and act like y'all got some respect, y'all gonna go in there and be humble, and y'all gonna sing Popcorn Love. And they was like, no, why we can't just go in there just thinking they the shit type stuff. And he was like, no, that's not what you do. So they go in there, they start singing Popcorn Love through the little thing, I thought, which was really cool. So Joe Busby, you know, welcomed them to the record label, told them to go to Universal Studios, gave them passes and all that. But when they walked away, and then Gerald Busby was in a meeting, he went off on Gary. He went off like, why you bringing me these old ghetto kids and all that kind of stuff? You wasting my time. I need results. So then in 1984, we see them, we see Gary walking in with these two dudes talking about, we got them on an apartment, set them all up together. So he cuts on the light, and they are having like an orgy fest up in the room, in the apartment. I'm like, there's no bedrooms in here. Nobody could have went to the bedroom. Like, ew, this is some nasty, unsanitary ass shit. But okay. So he introduced them to their new chaperones, because, you know, they have to have somebody watching them at all times, making sure they don't get no trouble, especially when a record label is investing in them. So then we see them singing again. They were singing they singing my favorite. Like, they whole catalog is like number ones to me. But yeah, they were singing and all that kind of stuff. And the group was not feeling that Ralph was always singing the lead. Like, when it's going to be our turn to sing. So they get mad that he's in the studio, so they leave. They like, shit, if it's just going to be him and him working, why are we here? So they end up leaving. Gary like, wait, hold up, where they going? But they left. That's when they had that little orgy fest or whatever. No, they end up taking some girls back to their damn room. So when Ralph came back from the studio, he was trying to be cool with them, but they was kind of being distanced from him, because he getting all the star time, and then he got a girlfriend. Zenith's his girlfriend at home, so you ain't got time to be playing with no girls. You ain't got time to be with us because you the star of the group. So they kind of was feeling a little salty or whatever. So you see him sit on the couch and them leave him in there by himself or whatever, and I was like, aw. So next part 2 is when we see the teenagers, the young adults of them, the destruction of Bobby Brown with the group and how they kicked him out and stuff like that. So I'm about to go watch part 2 now, and then I'll come back and record. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, kudos to BET, kudos to, you know, everybody involved with this movie. I'm ready for part 2, part 3. I am a new edition stan, I ain't no stan yet, but I will pay to go see their concerts. And I told y'all, I don't pay to go see concerts, because like the shit that happened at the beginning when they was fighting on stage, that's why I don't go to concerts, because I don't have time for y'all to do stuff that my money didn't involve. Like, no, if I pay for y'all to perform, that's all I want to see you do, perform. I don't want to see you have no talks, no rants, no fights, no none of that. I want to see you perform the songs that I paid to see. So it's hard for me to go to concerts, especially when they already rich. I'm like, I don't know, fuck that, I can go buy their CD cheaper. I'm just saying. Anyway, follow me on all social media sites by Thaghettoview, THA, not THE. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Oh, well, before I go, don't forget, July the 7th through the 9th will be the It's All About Support event. The whole weekend, we will be here in Las Vegas, turning up, having fun, food, drinks, all that. So make sure you get your plane tickets ready. And by next week, I will have the total for the rooms and stuff. So be on the lookout for that. It's all about support, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.